I came in, made a bunch of money on the opening, and I still feel bummed out. What I like to do is, sell into strength. So a lot of these things are going to open lower. Now they could just gap and keep going, but I'm not going to try and chase it now. I mean, I really like Caterpillar short, at 218, and now it's at 202. Dow Chemicals, these are very boring stocks, but they're starting to come apart. I'm long the puts of ARK Innovation, so I think this one is really gonna come in. This thing's gonna probably get cut in half. I bought the puts, the 110 puts that expire this week when the stock was at 117, paid about 92 cents. I imagine those are going to be higher today. I'm short some Biogen, just a small portion, and that's down about $4 today. I'm short Sunrun, that's going to come in about $2 lower. And I'm short, Tesla in this account. And so all told, I'm showing about 125 grand in profit there. So while I think these markets are going to come down, you have to be aware that, short covering rallies, they can rattle your teeth. These short covering rallies are vicious, they're hellacious, and they will come. And that's why I don't want to kind of get short into this 500, pip opening on the Dow. Tesla's actually down 14 on the day. And sometimes you see these openings, they're down 14, and then they just close it on the opening. So, in a way, I'm thinking of just taking like 30 grand off the table. So let's see, it's going to gap down under 629. I'm inclined to take this.
Are you saying because the market's going to gap so much on the opening, we probably shouldn't have any stop orders, just wait for it to settle first?
Yeah, I mean, everything's coming in materially lower. So I just got out at 629 and I was short at like 651. So I made whatever, $22 on 1,500, probably about 30 grand on that. So I just booked it. An ETF, it's the ARK Innovation ETF, ARKK. And, this has been, a lot of millennials. This Kathy Woods is like the new Warren Buffett for the millennials. And I just think she's duping a lot of people. They're going to get sucked in. I mean, obviously she's had a good record because, it's gone up like this, but she owns a bunch of junk companies that's earnings are, going to come in way in the future, if at all. And so to me, I see this trading in this big ascending, broadening pattern. And we looked at this in gold, and I saw this in pound Australian, middle of last year. Pound Australian hit 196 and then came all the way to the beginning of the triangle. So I think that's where this thing's going. Back to $30, it's 116. So the light show is going to start up pretty soon. So for those of you who, are new, you'll see that the opening is just chaotic. And so this is where you have to really come in with a plan, because if you get sucked into the emotions of it, you can really go crazy here. So you have to have a plan, know what your entries are, know what your exits are, have something ahead of, it's not perfect, but, you can't get just caught up in the emotions here. I haven't looked at the indexes in a while, but now I think the time is, you've had such a rollover in so many sectors that I think it's going to start spilling over into the indexes. That was the gist of my letter last night. Caterpillar, I was looking at shorting this at 218. It's at 201. Chevron, I was talking. So there you go. Here's the light show. It's just insane.
Right. Moderna's about to hit my take profit.
At what?
Just made a massive high. It's like 294. There we go. Just closed it out. 7,600 profit. Bang.
Did anybody else? I think Andrew Worthington. Didn't you have Moderna last week?
Terry. Yeah. Oh, I can't believe that. That's an insane trade. I still have half my position on.
So I'm just waiting for a nice rally, and you have to be patient. You really. it's hard, sometimes you just have to be willing to let some of this go. It's really hard knowing where something's going to go, and then you see it go, and it's just part of the discipline, because I've realized that you try and chase these things, you just look at Moderna. I think you got out perfectly. So Dale says, I took a close $11,000 profit in Moderna. It paid for my 12 months mentorship and then some.
So Murray says he's thinking to buy some ARK puts.
Yeah, it's probably not a bad idea into this rally. I might just add to my little collection here. So I just bought 150 more at like 91 cents. So I've got 500 of these contracts of ARK. I came in, made a bunch of money on the opening, and I still feel bummed out.
How much did you make on the opening?
I don't know, about 60 to 80, somewhere in there.
Yeah, sounds like a terrible day.
Yeah, so yeah, this one accounts up 42, and I took 30 on Tesla, so about 70. So all of these are on my radar here, and they just gapped today, gapped and went. Even like stayed thing, Dow Chemical, boring things in the Dow. Just getting really, and you can see a beautiful head and shoulders here. So I think this is just starting. But, kind of hard just to sell into these gap openings. And so now you can see everything's making a new low. And I think it's going to go a lot lower. It's just, I've been here before where you kind of now get caught up in this narrative. Now you want to chase it, and then they have a hellacious short covering rally, in an hour or something. But they may not. I mean, these things are just disappearing. So this is really where it's tough. I came in with some positions. I'm making some money. I don't have as much as I want. But the whole board is down. This is the 10-year treasury. Look at this price. So if prices go up, it means yields are crashing. So this is telling you something really frightening. So you can see that the 20-year, hit the trough at 133, and now we're at 151, which means that yields are going much lower. And this is contrary to a growth story. If the economy is growing and expanding, rates should be going higher, not lower. So the bond market is telling you that there's some huge dislocation. And that's why I say, the price is the news. We never know what the news is or the why, until down the road. The market is a discounting mechanism. The market, the price structure is starting to tell you something. And whether it's COVID, whether it's, fiscal stimulus that's gone, haywire, that growth is going to, come off a cliff. Who knows? The market is ahead of whatever's going to happen. So this is what I have. And it doesn't show the profits, unfortunately. It doesn't show anything. It just shows the positions.
Why doesn't it show the profits?
So I'm short 500 of these ARK puts. And I'm short Biogen, short Sunrun, short Tesla. So this is why you've got to be really careful and really disciplined. And if you missed it, and and I felt like these things are going down, you can't chase it. You can't chase it. You've got to wait for a spot where you can understand your risk better than others. And if you've just got to let it go, then you've just got to let it go. Some days you just maybe shouldn't trade. Where you can't see your levels. And this is, even for me, I like to trade. I like to do things. I did this stupid thing in Moderna where there is no level. There's no area where you can understand your risk. So, that's where everybody loses, where they just want to do something or they do something. And, for the last 3 weeks, I've been doing everything very methodically, making a bunch of money. And, sometimes you just have to wait for those opportunities again. See, 45, it's 1.3 million.
$1.3 million short.
So So popped out a profit for 118,000 there. So you can see how this is going crazy now. You can see how the market just going nuts. I bet like $1.6 million on this position. I'm showing right now $23,000 gain.